Hi, I'm Mike Monseur here at Axis Audio in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been mastering records for about 17 years. I started as the apprentice to a mastering engineer in the DC area when I was 18. After that, I joined Bias Studios, one of the premier recording facilities in DC, as their mastering engineer. In 2018, I moved to Nashville, and in 2020, I started Axis Audio with my business partner, Webster Tileston. I'm from Washington, D.C., and D.C. really has a rich and diverse music scene. I'd be listening to albums from people like The Seldom Seen, or Mary Chapin Carpenter, or Tony Rice, and I'd always see the name Bias Studios in the album credits. I suppose it's no accident that I ended up working there, and I was very fortunate for that. I got to work alongside people like Bob Dawson and Jim Robison and Bill Wolf and Greg Lukens. These are my heroes in the DC studio scene. I've been listening to music as long as I can remember, since I was a little kid with a Walkman to finding a boombox with a graphic EQ on it and adjusting the sliders and thinking, oh, that's interesting, that sounds different, I like this, I want to do this. That kind of led to a fascination with why certain records sounded the way they did and who was responsible for it. So I'd be listening to things like the Eagles, and I was really curious. I'd be seeing names like Bill Szymczyk and Ted Jensen, and or Pink Floyd and the work they did with James Guthrie, or Daniel Lanois and the albums he made with Willie Nelson, Emmylou Harris, Bob Dylan, you name it. It was just a fascinating thing. Those are my heroes. I use a combination of analog and digital processing in my workflow. I primarily master stereo material in Steinberg's Wavelab and immersive projects in Pro Tools. If a project comes in and it already has plenty of color, I may stick in the box and use a really great plugin. If it feels a little anemic and needs some help, I might reach to my analog gear like my Chandler Curve Bender or Manley Varimu, which I've had since the beginning of my career. And if it needs a little more vibe, I may even print it to a half-inch tape on my Ampex ATR 102. NEUMANN is a name that's synonymous with excellence. My first experience with NEUMANN products was in a recording studio where the entire mic locker was essentially vintage NEUMANNs. KM84s, U87s, U89s, U47s, KM86s, just one great thing after another. And they still make great mics. I own a 149, TLM 170, TLM 49s, KM 184s. They all still have that NEUMANN sound. I first became aware of the KH series around 6 years ago when I was looking for a new pair of monitors for my mastering studio. What surprised me was the amount of detail and headroom, but they were still so easy to listen to and fun to work on. And now here in our new studio in Nashville, I'm surrounded by almost the entire line of KH speakers. I've got KH 420s, 310s, 120s in the ceiling, and the KH 870 subs, which extend the response of my room down to about 14 hertz, which is really critical because I can hear infrasonic information the client may have missed on their end.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to see more videos just like this.